welcome back to another video, guys. And that's right, today we're back to talk about the latest big blockbuster to hit cinemas, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, I'm going to be honest, Marvel lately hasn't been it for me. You know, very underwhelmed with Doctor Strange. I didn't enjoy Thor Love and Thunder, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever was okay, it was decent. I've been missing that, you know, Spider-Man was really exciting, but this phase with the movies has been very, yeah. But I had hope with this one. It was James Gunn, and it's like the first time in a while I've gone into a Marvel film really excited. And I feel like the MCU really needed this, especially after Quantumania. They've gone from one of their lowest films to one of their highest here, I'm very happy to say. So yeah, let's get straight into this. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 sees our Guardians back on a new adventure. It's been a while since they've been on one, and of course the implications of what happened during the two Avengers films are impacting the team a lot. On this journey, they must go off and try and... They're battling against time as well as some villains, and along the way they meet some new heroes, some new characters, and some new enemies. I'm not going to spoil anything. It's really hard to get around this movie without spoiling anything. And the main plot of the film was actually quite surprising, which I loved. And it's one of the reasons why, because I know Marvel like to always give you hints at where the plot's going to go in their trailers. It's one of the things I don't like about their trailers, to be honest. But with this movie, they didn't give you any hints where the plot was going. And when you see the movie, you'll understand why. Because it's very surprising the direction it goes in. But I loved it. And there's a lot of things I do love about this movie. It gets a lot right. First off, tonally, this film... The Guardian... I never expected this film to be completely dark. Even though it looked dark from the trailers and I was expecting it to be dark. And it is. There are some very dark moments throughout this film with characters... with the villain, and there's some real animal cruelty type things going on in here, which you can see from the trailers. We see Rocket as a baby getting experimented on, and we see some other animals there as well, and it's really hard to watch, but then it does have a humorous tone to it. I know a lot of people just go, this is typical Marvel stuff, they're putting humour in where it shouldn't be. No, I completely disagree on this one. This one, the Guardians are goofy characters. They always have been. So in scenarios, it is good to still see their personality come out. Could you imagine if Drax was walking around being depressing? You'd go, what's happened to this character? It's good that there is these two tones, and they work well together, surprisingly here. There's a lot of other films that don't do that. Quantumania, I was hoping to be really serious and keep the Ant-Man humour. And it did try, but it failed miserably on both parts. Here, because you've got a much more competent writer and director in James Gunn, it works so well. He makes these two clashing tones work so well together in the movie. On top of that, visually, this film looks great. Again, I pick at other Marvel films like Quantumania and say, look at MODOK, he looked horrendous. Here, I can't really think of anything that looked horrendous. From start to finish, this film looks really cool. I wish there were a few more practical things on some of the aliens you meet, like when you go to, as seen in one of the trailers, they go to a planet that's sort of similar to Earth, but with creatures on. There's some more practical stuff would have been cool there, I think. But for the most part, it looked really good. There's nothing that stood out to me where I was like, that looked a bit dodge. It all looked really, really cool. And before I get onto my couple negatives, let's just do a roundup of the characters, because this film is so good at balancing all its characters as well, I want to say, for the most part. There's one character that let me down in this film, really. Other than that, I was very happy with everyone. You know, you got the main Guardians. Peter Quill, played by Chris Pratt, he's great in this film. Again, there you can see that Peter that we know and love in there from the previous movies, but he is battling his demons with what's happened in previous films, and it was great, and it really fit into that clash of tones that is a running theme throughout the movie. Gamora, she's great in this. Very interesting take on her, and it's unlike any take we've seen, which I really liked. For me, a couple of the standouts in this one was Nebula. She's, honestly, everything she's been in, other than the first film, she's been one of the standout Guardians. Just the first movie didn't do her very well. But every other property Nebula pops up in, she's always great. She's one of the best developed characters I've seen in the MCU to date. Then we've got Drax, who I never used to like Drax much, but I've really warmed to his character. I really love his dumb sense of humour, and it makes me chuckle, and do you know what? It works really well for me. I'm a big fan of this character. Um, Groot, out of the core 5 or 6 or 7 Guardians now, he probably gets the least amount of screen time in this one, but his moments are very cool. I love this version of Groot. I was not big on the teenage Groot. He was definitely my least favourite. This one, a bit more grown up, and he's got that very childish kind of face, but on a big body, and it's like, I like that. That's cool. This might be my favourite version of Groot, thinking about it. Although I did really like the first one. Baby Groot's just cute as well, isn't he? Rocket's great in this movie. As I said, I don't want to say too much about Rocket because, you know, as people know from the trailers, this film is very Rocket-centered. There's a lot of Rocket stuff going on in this one. You get to see his past and how emotionally attached you get to this character. There were a few moments where I had tears in my eyes with this character, like just with his backstory stuff. I was like, wow, this is quite hard to watch. And our late addition was Mantis, and another character that really stood out to me in this one. Again, when she came into the second Guardians film and the 2 Avengers film, she always did feel like that side character, but I feel like the holiday special and now this movie has really pushed her character. And yeah, really, really solid character now overall. Who else we got? We got some new additions, or well, not new additions, but the new being front and centered with Kraglin, who's a character I did want to see a bit more of. But, you know, he was cool. He has a bit of a cheesy thing going on. Can't figure out his powers, but, you know, he gets it right when he needs it. And then Cosmo the dog. I love Cosmo the dog. Yeah, just cute. Just cute. You need a cute. We had Baby Groot in the last one, so we need another cute creature. A dog this time. Animal-like thing. Yeah, there's not really much to say about Cosmo. The villain was cool. I would have liked to seen a little bit more development, but his purpose was clear, his vision was clear, and he was a fun character. Now, the character I have issue with is Adam Warlock, purely because he felt so forced in, and it feels like he was a last-minute decision to come into the movie, which I know isn't the case because of the end credit scene from the last Guardians movie. But yeah, the movie feels like it didn't really need him, to be honest. Yeah, I thought Will Poulter done a good job with the role, but yeah, Adam Warlock, definitely one of the weaker parts of this movie. And I'll move into the weaker parts of the film now. I think that this film has a lot to set up at the start. With we got Adam Warlock, we got another villain in this. We've got the actual plot of the movie it needs to set up. We've got to set up what's going on with Gamora, and there's just loads of other things this film's balancing. It's doing a lot. It's doing a lot more than both other Guardians films. It does a lot than like 90% of the MCU films. And I think this film actually could have benefited from being another 10 minutes longer because it is a little bit messy. And as I say, you do have that underdeveloped stuff with Adam Warlock there. But all in all, I think that's all I've got on complaints, to be honest. It just is a bit messy at times. And Adam Warlock just could have been a bit better developed. Other than that, you know, I can nitpick a few little bits. I might have in my Letterboxd review. I can't remember. Go check that out if you want to see any more. And, you know, I'll be doing a podcast episode on Monday with my friend Ryan about this movie. But other than that, I don't really have much more to say about it, to be honest. It was a good time. I felt very satisfied with the ending. I really liked the ending, actually. I was a bit worried because, you know, how are we going to end these characters? You know, there's a lot of them. Are we really going to just murder all of them? Or are we going to have all of them go off into the sunset? Or are we going to kill a few? Or, you know, I was very happy with more or less where everyone ended up. I thought it was a very nice ending, which was good because we saw poor Tony Stark die a few years back. It's nice that, you know, we didn't have to see everyone die. But yeah, I think this is a really solid entry in the MCU, which is great because we've had Quantumania and then some other real duds lately. So yeah, you know, there's going to be the Marvel hating bandwagon out there. There always is, even when you get an excellent movie from them. Granted, hasn't been for a while. But yeah, no, I think this is a very good movie. I'd still say the first Guardians is the best, but I prefer this to the second one. And the Guardians just always seem to get the best treatment in the MCU. And I'm really sad we're not going to see these characters again. Or most of them. I don't know. You know, it's sad. Really don't want to give any spoilers away. But I'm really sad that there won't be like a Guardians 4 with this team, probably. But anyway, there we go. There's my review. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. James Gunn done a wonderful job. It's a really solid movie. Yeah, go see it at the cinema while you can, because it needs to be seen on the big screen as well. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a message. And as always, I'll see you next time for another video. Bye-bye.